Good afternoon. Today I want to share Isaiah 65, verse 24, which says, "It will also come to pass that before they call, I will answer, and while they are still speaking, I will hear." I always start my devotions by writing in my journal. The first thing I write is praise, and then I will write down at least one thing that I'm thankful for. And I had a few things this morning that I wrote down. Something that had happened last night was on there because I just thought it was so amazing. Then I wrote my prayer requests down, and then I began, and this is the very first verse that I read. And I read quite a few different devotionals, so it actually made me laugh when I read this verse because I'm like, I know exactly what you want me to share. So apologize if it gets too long, but this was so amazing to me how God heard and answered before I actually prayed and asked Him for what we needed, because He knew what we needed. I was casually talking to a friend last night, and I mentioned that we were going to need a new microwave because ours had been acting up for a few weeks, and every time we'd close the door, either the time would totally go black or it would start flashing eights all the way across. And there's been many times I'd come downstairs and just see eights flashing on the microwave, and I'm like, ugh. And I got to the point where I wasn't even resetting the time because every time we used it, it would wipe the time out. And I was just afraid that it's probably some kind of short in the microwave somewhere. And so I had prayed, Lord, help this to not start on fire at night or when somebody's using it, But I hadn't asked Him for a microwave. I had actually gone to 2 different places just to get an idea of what they were going to cost. But we were just kind of hoping that nothing would happen with this microwave and okay, you'll show us what we need to do when we need to do it. But yeah, He decided to answer because when I mentioned the need for a microwave, my friend said, I have a nearly new one. It's in the basement right now because we don't use it. So you can have it for free, which is definitely in our budget. So I was floored just at that. But we kept talking, and she mentioned that she loves her air fryer that she has. And I think she even asked me, do you use an air fryer? Because somehow I was caught myself responding that, we have a really small one, but we don't use it very often because there's a crack on the top. And actually there's a hole, I think when the kids dropped it or something was dropped on it. But there's a hole at the top of the air fryer. And I was kind of thinking it's probably not very safe, but my kids are adults, my son's 19 and my daughter's 24. And my son, of course, is, Mom, it's fine. It still works. And so they would use it from time to time. But it wasn't feasible for a family of 4 for me to use this tiny air fryer. So I very rarely used it, and it was only for me if I would use it, because that's all you could fit into it. And she started to tell me this story about how she had bought an air fryer, and then it got recalled. And so they went and bought a different air fryer, same brand, but it was kind of like an upgrade. That it came out after the one that they had bought, and so it was a little better. So she absolutely loved this new one. And then they realized we use it so much that she could use a second one, so she could have her main dish cooking in one and the side dish cooking in a different one. So they got this other one on sale for a really cheap price. And then they finally got the paperwork all done and submitted for the recall that occurred with that very first air fryer. And they sent her a new air fryer. So here she was with 3 air fryers And she said, I was going to ask if, maybe you could use it. And you just told me that you have a crack in yours and it's small. And so I'd like to give you this air fryer too, for free. So my husband and I went over and picked them up. And I saw this air fryer and I just was like, Lord, this is twice the size. And the first thing I thought of, we just got an upgrade, because it was twice the size of our other one. And my daughter and I had actually went one time and looked at bigger air fryers. And I remember saying, that's just a little bit too much money to be spending. And to me, I was thinking, an air fryer is not a necessity. Yeah, I would really like to have one, and a bigger one so I could make things for the family or more than one person at a time. But it's not a necessity. I can use my oven. I can use the microwave. It's okay. But God knew the desire of my heart, and He answered our need for a microwave. And He answered the desire of my heart for a bigger air fryer. And I didn't ask for any of them. He answered before I called upon Him and to ask for these things. I know He sees everything. He knew the need that we had. And He obviously heard me telling my husband, we really need a new microwave. And so He supplied both of these for free. And I was just so thankful. And I wanted to encourage you that go to God, tell Him your needs. He always answers. It may not be in our timing, because sometimes His answers wait, and sometimes His answers no. But He always answers, even if it's in a way that we're not expecting. He knows what's best. But He always hears you when you talk to Him. And sometimes it's not even when you're really talking to Him, you're talking to somebody else, but He hears you. He sees you. He knows. And don't forget to thank Him when He answers, especially if He answers before you even ask. Have a great day.